And welcome to the Lake Area High School Basketball Coaches Show. It is our last Coaches Show of the year. We'll get caught up with what happened for the Camdenton Lakers during the regular season this year. We'll talk with head coach Craig Campbell. This is brought to you by COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center, the O'Sullivan Bruce Group, part of RE/MAX, Lake of the Ozarks, and Slumberland Furniture, Slumberland at the Lake. Your Lake Area High School Basketball Coaches Show right after this. And we're talking with Camdenton Lakers head basketball coach Craig Campbell today on the Coaches Show. And first of all, Coach, last Coaches Show of the year that we get to talk. It has just been such a pleasure to get to know you this year. Thank you for your time.
Well, I appreciate you having me on here. I've enjoyed it and have actually looked forward to coming in after the first one. The first one I was a little nervous, but after that I've kind of enjoyed coming in and talking and stuff.
I'm such a scary guy. People are afraid of me, man. So it's been a tough year, tough wins-wise this year. It's been kind of a struggle, but you've had to deal with so much on top of the wins and the losses, COVID, and then weather and everything else this year.
Yeah, it's been an interesting year to say the least. Glad we were able to get the season in. That was at the beginning of the year. We weren't sure that was going to happen, especially with all the COVID regulations at that time, as far as they're getting outdoor sports in the fall, but you're looking at winter sports all being inside and wasn't sure how that was going to look and whether we were going to play. So I'm glad we were able to get through the season. I know we didn't have many issues. Other schools had a few others, but for the most part, just about every team got most of their games in.
Yeah. It'll be interesting in the future to see if things go back to normal or if it's just going to be weird from here on out, you know? I mean, there's no way of telling, is there?
Not really. Even looking at spring sports, there's still regulations we got to follow and everything that you're back outside, and so you're thinking it might be a little bit different, but it's still, they have limited seating capacities and all that kind of stuff that it's definitely makes going into planning that stuff a little bit more difficult than it has in the past.
Absolutely. Well, we at Lake TV got to do our very first Camdenton Lakers basketball game this year, and that was great. We had a good time. You've obviously got a good group of kids. They came up short losing to Central, but that Central team has a lot of good young talent.
They do. They're real athletic, and they've got a lot of upside. They didn't have two of their starters, which actually probably helped them in the long run because they were the kind of the two kids that were from the prior coaches, and sometimes they kind of butted heads, and those younger guys that he had they play together and they play hard and they play.
Boy,
they
got
like
some
to get
talent.
They do. They do.
That young guard is 15 years old. He's a freshman.
Yep.
It looks like he could play in college for some teams.
Just about. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Wow. So who are some of the players that you were most proud of this year?
I really just the growth of a lot of the younger guys was huge this year. The JV and C team both had winning records for the first time in 5, 6, 7 years.
Wow.
Both of them did well in the conference. The youth guys that just see the growth. I mean, like Cooper Barrett, for example, he was a guy that kind of set some varsity early in the year, but played mainly JV, and he's worked his tail off and got where here at the end. He started a couple games and really contributed on varsity, and just to see that growth in guys like that have put in that time and effort and continue to do that's makes it exciting to see for the next few years hold. So.
Absolutely. Makes it pay off for a coach, makes the coach feel better too a little bit. So you struggled on the varsity level, but the younger guys had pretty good years, so that would bode well for the future.
I hope so. I mean, that was kind of the plan, was to get as much success with those younger guys at that level to continue it on up as they get older and to see that success translate to wins on the varsity level too.
Absolutely. So some schools are known as football schools, some as basketball schools. I think Camdenton over the years has been known as a football school. You're trying to bring that basketball program in. Are you feeling good about the progress?
Yes and no. I mean, I definitely feel like I have a lot more buy-in in the basketball program than I did when I first got here. The kids like I said, especially those younger guys have really bought into what it takes to be successful, and as they progress through, we'll see how it kind of changes. But they're also really good football players and really good baseball players, and they're good athletes in general, and they all expect to win and want to win, which is good. Which is good.
Absolutely, yeah.
You want every coach wants those type of players that want that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and as a coach, obviously you always want to win, but when you're coaching high school, there's more to it than wins and losses. I mean, you're changing lives. You're having an effect on the rest of these lives for these boys.
And that's the goal. I mean, if you're coaching in high school, even in college, your goal as a coach isn't necessarily your wins and loss record. I mean, if it is, then you really shouldn't be coaching, because that's not what it's. If you're going to do that, go do it professionally, or be an AAU coach or something that you get paid for it. A little bit better than what we do, but the big thing is to try to just help grow those, in my case, the young men, and become better, not just basketball players or athletes, but in just people in general. And hopefully, most of the time, you don't necessarily see it right then, but hopefully down the road. I know I've gotten calls from former players over the years that at the time I'm like, nothing's clicking. Right. And then 2 or 3 years down the road, they've called me back and said, we know exactly what you're trying to teach us now, and we appreciate everything you did, and we've applied some of the lessons you tried teaching us to our life now, and we appreciate that, and we thank you for it.
Well, and that's one of the things too. I mean, for us who grew up, we know how important coaches were to us, and we can remember the coaches and some of the things they taught us, and how important that was, and now you're playing that role.
And I've got some of my former coaches I still call and talk to all the time about stuff, and not just basketball, but just in life in general. And as a coach, that's kind of what you're expected of. And all my former athletes, I tell them at the end of the year, if you need anything I can help with, just let me know. I'm just a phone call away. I haven't changed my number in 12, 15 years. I don't even know how long I've had it now. I go, just call, text, whatever. I'll respond back, and as soon as I can. If I can't get it right then, and then I'll help you out in any way I can.
How cool is that? You want him as your coach, right? What a great group of people you have over there at Camdenton. With Dr. Kurtz and Coach Shore, yourself, just a great group of people in the activities department.
There's some really good coaches over there at Camdenton that really care about kids.
Yep, absolutely. All right, this is your Lake Area High School Basketball Coaches Show, talking with Camdenton coach Craig Campbell. We'll have more right after this. What is COMC? A health center where everyone has access to high-quality, affordable medical, dental, and behavioral health care, regardless of insurance or ability to pay. Offering primary care, preventative, chronic, pediatrics, and OBGYN. COMC even offers comprehensive dental and same-day emergency care. A health center that focuses on every aspect of your health. Everything your family needs to stay healthy. At COMC, your health is our mission.
How to sell your house. First, take pictures, put them on Facebook, take off work to hold an open house and lead tours, call a lawyer, negotiate a contract, and pay your lawyer. Send the contract to a title company, schedule an appraisal, schedule an inspection, fill out a mountain of paperwork, sign a contract that you barely understand, and finally, you've closed. Well, unless you messed up one of the earlier steps, in which case, start the whole thing over.
Or you could just call us. That's probably what I would do. Me too.
The O'Sullivan Bruce Group. Selling the Lake lifestyle.
One of the biggest furniture events of the year, the President's Sale, is ending.
Come on.
Slumberland Furniture has the best prices around on all sorts of furniture. And right now at our President's Sale, everything is an additional 25% off our already low price.
This is totally you.
Oh. Yeah, this is the winner.
Well, hello, Slumberland.
Get your look for less at the huge President's Sale at Slumberland, ends Saturday.
And welcome back to your Lake Area High School Basketball Coaches Show, talking with Camdenton Lakers head coach Craig Campbell. Regular season is over, heading into the playoffs. District tournament play, how's your district looking?
It's a competitive district. We've played all the teams in it. We got Rolla first round, who we played pretty well the first time we played them. Had a hiccup there near the end of the game, and they were able to pull away and win it. But I like our chances to compete and maybe make some noise in the district.
Nice. Okay. Well, that's good. Got some good feelings heading into there. And when the game we did for the Lakers, kind of a snapshot of your whole season. Played well at times, didn't play so well at times, had a chance to win, couldn't quite get over the top, and there's been a lot of that this year.
A lot of games where we've had one quarter that cost us the game or a half and played well otherwise, that if we could have put 4 quarters together, then we probably would came out with a win or been a very close ball game.
All right, so you ready for some fun questions?
Absolutely.
All right, you played growing up, right? You played sports, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So who was a better basketball player? This is the age-old question, right? Jordan or LeBron?
Well, you can't, I mean, Jordan, obviously, but you can't really compare them because LeBron's really not the same position.
Right, bigger guy, stronger guy.
Bigger, stronger, arguably more athletic just because of his strength. But really, I mean, Jordan, it kind of just changed basketball. I mean, yeah, LeBron's changed it some, but Jordan changed the way the game was played and how coaches defended other players. And you look at even all the great players now, Jordan was kind of the guy they looked at.
Yeah.
I mean, even LeBron talks about that, and Kevin Durant and Kobe was, and all those guys, that Jordan was who they looked to.
Yeah.
And so I'd say Jordan still.
Yeah.
Even though LeBron's closed the gap a lot,
yeah,
I still think Jordan is.
But pound for pound, probably, I think most people would say Michael Jordan. Better big man, Kareem or Wilt Chamberlain?
Scorer, well, I mean, even though Kareem's the all-time leading scorer, Wilt was what he was known for.
Yeah.
Putting the ball in the hole.
Scored over 100 points in one game, right?
And then he averaged, I think that one season, 50-something points and almost 50 rebounds.
Wow.
And but as far as an all-around big man, defender, everything, I think Kareem probably takes it.
That sky hook was unbelievable. Man, that was
one of those unstoppable moves.
Yeah, it really was. Better running back, Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders?
I might go with Emmitt Smith, but only because Barry kind of cut his career short. If he had stuck it out longer, I think he probably would have ended up being the best running back in the history of the NFL. But
yeah, and Emmitt was on a better team.
He was.
Which helps,
It does.
Winning Super Bowls, got a big line in front of you.
Yep.
But Emmitt was able to stay healthy, play a long time. I think Barry was a better running back, but, I mean, worse team, so he didn't have the stats. Yeah. And then he did decide to hang it up a little bit.
A little sooner than people expected. Yes.
Absolutely. Greatest quarterback of all time. Okay, I'm going to throw out some names here. You got Montana, Brady, Elway, maybe even Patrick Mahomes, right? Throw him in there.
I would say right now, I mean, it's hard to argue that with Brady just because, and I hate saying it, but
I know.
But it's one of those, just with what he's done. I mean, you look at his regular season records. I mean, they've only had one losing season. And I think that was the year he got hurt.
Yeah.
And so and was out for half the season, and so that, and then just the Super Bowl wins, obviously. I definitely think that Mahomes has a chance to catch him, even with the setback this year. But I think he has a chance to catch him if he can stay healthy. And that's going to be the big question there.
That is. And in football, in any sport, but especially football. But Brady has just been unbelievable. I mean, 7 Super Bowl wins. And I think he's got like 3 or 4 Super Bowl losses.
Yeah. He's played in the Super Bowl every year, but I think 2, it seems like, in the last 15 years. So.
Unbelievable. Yeah, you pretty much have to say greatest of all time, and certainly at this point, Tom Brady. Greatest golfer. Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, who would you throw in there?
If Tiger hadn't had all the injuries the last 10 years, I'd say Tiger definitely hands down. Jack definitely, it kind of goes back to Jordan, LeBron, different kind of game and era. I'd still probably say Tiger's still probably the greatest just because of what he was able to achieve in such a short amount of time. But that's a 1A, 1B type question.
Same thing. Yeah, it goes back to same thing. Jordan and LeBron. Are you talking pound for pound or what? Yeah, absolutely. And and it also, I think we learned a lesson from Tiger. Jack had a quiet personal life, and I think that helped his game.
It did.
Tiger was a little crazy in his personal life, and it kind of cost him in his game.
Yes, it did.
So that's a lesson for you kids out there. So last Coach's Show of the Year with Coach Craig Campbell. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. Looking forward to next year already, and it is just an honor to be associated with you and the Lakers.
Well, I appreciate you having me on here. This is, I've enjoyed coming in and talking about basketball and some fun questions, and look forward to next year and expounding on that. So.
All right. So thank you for joining us for the Lake Area High School Basketball Coaches Show.